Hola, everyone. Welcome to Open in 2026. I'm Renee Cafaro, your host of Café con Leche every Friday. Here's what's coming up in today's show. First up, award-winning writer, director, and producer Michael Baez is here to talk about his latest film, De la Cruz, and what's next for him. Then influencer and fashion designer Renee Cafaro is here to share what's hot for plus-size people in 2026. Followed by actor, musician Kevin Chacón, who's here to discuss his role as Chris Rodriguez in the Disney Plus TV series Percy Jackson and the Olympians. And finally, this week's Open Artist Spotlight shines on Natalia González, a poet dedicated to celebrating the human experience, and she closes out the show with her poem, A Penny for Your Thoughts. So sit back y prepárate. All this and more is headed your way, because now we are officially open. Hey everyone, welcome back to Open. This is our first Open of 2026, so Happy New Year, everyone. And thank you for being with us. I'm Renee Valentin, your host of Café con Leche for the next hour. As always, we invite you to get social with us online. Follow us on Instagram at BronxNet TV, or like us on Facebook at Open BronxNet Television. And of course, while you're there, don't forget, follow moi on FB, Instagram, Insta Stories, Threads, and LinkedIn at Renee Valentin. All right, so my first guest has over 2 decades in the entertainment industry. This individual has produced more than 300 television commercials airing on major networks like MTV, VH1, BET, Nickelodeon, MSG, and CNN. That's just to name a few. And his filmography also includes producing and directing 3 feature films and 7 short films. However, it's his latest film, De la Cruz, that has critics at film festivals taking notice. Let's take a peek at De la Cruz.
Julie, are you okay?
No. ¡Víctor! ¡No! Quisiera denunciar un intento de violación.
This isn't right. He cannot get away with this. He just can't. I want to kill him.
I think it's time I finally introduce you to my cousin.
Who's your cousin?
You're gonna teach me how to fight like that, right?
What I'm teaching you will get you something better. Revenge. Vamos.
Gira, gira. Eso.
Like a wolf. Yoli.
Like a wolf.
Remember me?
Wepa. That was exciting. And once again, mi gente, that was the film De la Cruz, currently streaming on Amazon Prime and Tubi. And here to share more behind the making of the film, which is the first of a trilogy, we welcome founder of Baez Entertainment, writer, director, and producer Michael Baez. Hello and welcome.
Thank you.
Oh my God, I'm so excited for you.
Thank you.
that is exciting. That was an exciting clip to watch.
Good. I'm glad.
Yeah.
That's the idea.
And I got to tell you, all right, so I saw it,
Yes.
and so we can speak from
Yes.
this place of experience
I love
in me experiencing the piece
Yes.
itself, and talking a little more in detail about all the layers that you've
Yes.
included, because there's spirituality, there's
Yeah.
action, and there's women empowerment,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
But before we even get into all of that, let's talk about the film itself and why it was so important for you to make it Spanglish.
Yes. Good question. This movie has been 28 years in the making. It's part of a trilogy, as you said. I actually wrote part 3 first, 28 years ago, and it was just taking so much time and money to get made. So then I wrote a prequel. So let me write something a little bit smaller that I can do first, and that I just wrote even a bigger story. So let me try it one more time. So I wrote a prequel to the prequel, and that's what's become the trilogy. And it's just been a journey of trying to get it done. And finally, I just decided. I remember clearly it was New Year's Eve, and I said, you know what? I'm gonna give myself 1 year to make this darn movie. And that's what I did. And I went to Mexico and spent 3 years prior to that just trying to find the right crew, the right cast, locations, everything like that. And finally, we decided to shoot it in Mexico City. And they're young actors. Everyone's in their 20s, and they're bilingual. I says, you know what? Let's do it in English and Spanish, so to reach a wider audience and to really influence the culture and getting the Latino culture out there more so. And it just worked out beautifully because I would just be able to do both.
Can I share
Please.
that really impacted me and engaged me, because that's the way we speak
That's the way we
here.
speak, yes.
And I loved that you provided subtitles for
Yes.
both.
Yes, exactly. Yes.
Now, I'm also curious to know why it's under the category of supernatural horror.
Yes. Well, it's weird. Different platforms label it differently, But I do like the horror genre, but I don't like the slasher, gory. I like supernatural films. Sixth Sense is one of my all-time favorite movies. The Others, great movies that are like ghost stories, but really speak to the human spirit. And I think that's something that's very important to me. Is I wanted to make movies that are dark in terms of like the crime genre, the different words, but they have always a message of hope and inspiration and light. And that was something that was very important to me.
And it's
too.
also the next generation, too, I might add. And it's women empowerment and their spirituality. We're looking at some images right now as we're discussing this, but I do want to talk about the this particular I guess it's a santo. That I'm unfamiliar with that particular saint. So I learned a little something, and there was something really exciting about watching it go. That's why I'm like, I don't know if I would refer to it as a horror.
Yeah, again, this is how they label it on the platforms. But yeah, the Santa is Santa Muerte. So in my research of going back and forth to Mexico, part 2 of the trilogy deals more with Santeria, which is the next one we're about to do. It's called Muertos. But as I was going to visit Mexico, people kept telling me there's no Santeria here, which isn't true. It's there. But it's not just out as strong in the culture the way it is here in New York. And then they kept saying, oh, no, we have Santa Muerte, Santa Muerte. So I said, okay, let me research that. And I started to research Santa Muerte. I was like, wow, this is quite fascinating. Because in the Mexican culture, as you know, through Day of the Dead, Dia de los Muertos, they appreciate death in a different way than here in the U.S. People here, they fear death. Over there, they celebrate death. So that was a much more healthier perspective. So in the movie, we said, let's really incorporate La Santa Muerte so people have a better understanding of who she is. Other than, many films show her just her statue.
Right.
Here, we actually have her appearing 4 times.
Right. Well, more than her appearing, it's an education. It's an educational experience because, again, going back to the way you portrayed it, which is why I identify it as a spiritual piece, and to be able to even merge it with action, it's like, whoa, Michael, you really outdid yourself with this one. You really did. I mean, especially because it's a woman empowerment piece as well. And I kind of even associated her with like our rendition of a female Rocky.
Yeah, exactly. No, that was very important to me. I'm a huge Rocky fan. Thank you so much. I wanted to show the female empowerment because, I've been also teach yoga, and I've been, around yogis and mostly women, and in hearing their stories, unfortunately, it's a common thing for women to get assaulted, in all types of horrible situations. So that was always spoken to me, and being a martial artist as well and studying martial arts for 10 years and teaching self-defense, I wanted to combine the two. So I decided to let's write a movie about a young girl who wants justice, but when she's denied justice, she goes and gets revenge, and it's really nice to watch it. We've screened it many times all over the world, and to be in the audience with women cheering, and she gets her revenge at the end, it's really, really cool.
Yeah, and I mean, it's won a lot of awards.
Yes, 50,
right?
50 awards.
50 awards. All right, let's talk about that tour.
Yes,
before it even got to Amazon. You went through all the film festivals.
Yes, we started submitting a rough cut. We weren't even finished yet, and because I was still raising money to finish the movie, but I started submitting a rough cut, and the rough cut started winning awards. We won in Venezuela, we won in Chile, we won in Italy. I'm like, wow, it was so amazing to see that the movie transcended boundaries. Where I'm thinking, okay, I'll do it in English and Spanish, but then all of a sudden we played in Italy, we played in France. I'm like, wow, this is incredible that this movie is really speaking to people, because I think it's a universal story, really showing how women everywhere are experiencing, unfortunately, sexual assault and domestic violence and things like that. So it really spoke true to people's hearts. I'm excited about that.
Yeah, I agree with it being universal, especially from a Latinx cultural perspective, because that's how we live. We live exercising our spirituality, right? And no matter your practice, it's there, at least in my household. I shouldn't speak on behalf of all of us. And then there's this reality of just being on guard, especially here in New York, right? We have to have that sixth sense.
Yes.
And then, of course, this development aspect, because you're an instructor, and I love that you chose a young lady, and I understand that she is not. She developed her MMA skills for the film.
Exactly. She has zero fighting experience. We cast her. And the funny thing is, I had another actress already in mind, and we spoke about giving her the part, and then she just mysteriously just drops out. And luckily, we had auditioned Sofia Diaz. Sofia comes into the audition, just blows us away. And I was like, oh my God, but she has zero fighting experience. So once we decided, okay, we're going to go with Sofia, that very next day, we got her with Luis Grasso, who is the father of the UFC champion, Alexa Grasso. She's the first Mexican Latina champion. So Luis trained Sofia for 3 years. And mind you, he wasn't training her for movie choreography stunts. He was training her to fight. And he trained her for 3 years. By the time he was done with her, he said she's ready to enter the cage. And then another trainer in Mexico City, who we had her working with also, said, I would bet my money on her. Like, she is so well trained that she could go fight, which is incredible. So when people watch it, like, wow, like she really knows what she's doing. Yeah, because she trained 6 hours a day. 6 hours a day for 6 days a week for 3 years.
Yeah, well, you know what? Kudos to her, because you could tell.
Yes.
You could tell.
Yes.
I was there with her.
Yes.
And you captured it really lovely in the film. That whole development aspect of it, and also inspiring individuals to maybe want to consider doing MMA, which is also a trend right now. So you're on point, right, with the times. So all of it, and I just want to congratulate you.
Thank you.
On behalf of all of us here at Open, and the fact that you happen to be here in New York, right? Our Bronx boy, Michael Baez, visiting home to share his latest works that is having huge success. And so where do we go from here?
Part two. So we're back at the drawing board, raising money to go back into the next one. But this is interesting because part 2 goes in a different direction. We still follow Yoli and her family, but the story goes in another different direction. We go, like as I said, more into the culture of Santeria and things like that. So it really, I like doing spiritual films. I think it's just part of us. Especially being born and raised here in New York. We're very spirited people, and the culture is everywhere. So it's just really nice to just show it in a different way. I think Hollywood has shown like Santeria and witchcraft and brujeria as like this cliche way that's kind of very superficial. They don't go deep. And it's like, no, there's so much more to this culture. Being raised here, as I said, I saw it, witnessed it firsthand. So I wanted to show like the good part of it, not this Hollywood cliche version, but like something that really will speak to people, that will resonate with people. And I think even just with Santa Muerte, just showing it in Mexico, and people really respect that and identify that we showed her in a positive light.
Yes.
We didn't show her in a typical way.
Right. No, you did. And you did it very well.
Thank you.
And on that note, I want to conclude with saying that what you did was you merged our cultures,
Yes.
which is what we need a lot more
Exactly,
of right now.
exactly,
It's like
exactly.
finding our similarities within our
Yes,
differences.
absolutely,
I love it.
absolutely, yeah,
Well, thank you
yeah.
for bringing it
Thank
here,
you for having
Michael.
me.
I know we're ready to do namaste.
Namaste,
I'm there with
namaste.
you too. Oh my gosh, que bellísimo.
Gracias.
All right, you guys, once again, Michael Baez, and I am highly recommending this film. Highly recommending it. I enjoyed it so much. And once again, it's streaming on both Amazon Prime and Tubi. And if you're interested in more information on the film, you can go to delacruzmovie.com and on IG at Delacruz the movie. All right, stay tuned. There's more open when we return.
There's a new channel to explore, and it's bringing the classics back to life. During the day, relive the BronxNet originals that sparked conversations and built community. At night, dive into the hip-hop throwbacks that defined a generation. One destination, two powerful lineups. Now playing on Optimum Channel 952, Fios 2138, and streaming at BronxNet.tv. BX Legacy, where history meets the moment.
Hey everyone, and welcome back to Open. Ladies and gentlemen, my next guest creates haute couture exclusively for bigger bodies, and her brand champions ethical, local, and fair wage business practices while striving to bring luxury and opulence to plus-size clients. Her commitment to high-quality items is evident in her designs, which have graced fashion runways and television, including RuPaul's Drag Race, Good Morning America, and the 2023 Oscars. She focuses on fit and functionality, specifically for sizes 16 to 32. And here to discuss her process and what's trending in 2026 for the plus-size community is the founder, Renee Cafaro Atelier. Fashion designer, Renee Cafaro. Hello and welcome.
Hi, thank you so much for having me.
Thank you for being here with us. And I'm so excited to jump into this conversation because, at the top of the year, most people are having conversations about what they're going to do to,
All the resolutions.
Yeah.
All the resolutions, yep.
And we're here to amplify that, as you are.
Absolutely.
And there's a place for all of us.
Absolutely. That's really, always been my goal, is to make people understand that they are worth investing in right now at this size. Life is short. I mean, if a pandemic didn't teach us this, I don't know what would. And every year, though, we keep seeing these resolutions keep coming back. And, especially with the Ozempic craze and things like that. You know, I like to call it the weight loss industrial complex. Like, could you imagine how much money would be lost by all these companies if women just allowed themselves to love themselves the way they are? So, you know, I wanted to bring a brand to the plus size community that embraced them. We're not telling you need to change who you are to fit into these clothes. We make the clothes to fit you in your life. And I felt there's a real hole in the market for luxury for plus size. It's almost as if we talk about plus size bodies like they're transient. You know, it's like, well, would I lose this much? And I get it. You know, honestly, no shame. We are fighting that battle on every front. I used to be the same way. I used to be all in the diet culture. And I really started to live my life when I let that go and I embraced body positivity as an influencer and as a fashion editor for Slink magazine, which is a plus size magazine. That was what I did prior to this. And it's just been really great to just keep beating that drum that we are worthy of luxury right now and need to embrace ourselves, you know, without the resolutions.
I agree, and it's important for us to have these conversations because the truth of the matter is that some of us are just born a certain way, and there's absolutely nothing you can do. Because I'm sorry, I'm healthy myself. Like I swim, and I'm a full-figured woman. That's just that's just the way it is.
I mean, you got to debunk those myths. I mean, absolutely. You know, those who need to be on like GLP-1s for diabetes and for their health. You know, you do you. You have to take care of number one, obviously. But, you know, this craze of fitting some sort of ideal, I think we need to let go of that. We need to embrace who we are and let our personalities shine, let our beauty shine as we stand. And, you know, like I said, life's short. And for me, you know, a lot of people don't understand that I actually have run half marathons. Even at my biggest sizes, I run, I do all these great things. And the idea is like, oh, you must have high blood pressure. You must have these things. No one knows what your health is, you know, other than your doctor. So, you know, embrace who you are without having to worry about all
well, apparently
that
they just showed some of your fashion stuff, which we were just about to get into. So we're probably going to have to show them again because the idea is that we're having these conversations to lead into the fact that you capitalized off of just having this niche market and also empowering women because what we just looked at, if we could show that again, was really fashionable and very stylish, and it's made for women of plus sizes.
And some of my best work, again, loving who you are and just going after what you want to do, was this is some of the stuff from my latest collection from Fashion Week. This is Spring Summer 2026. It's called Out of Scale, and it was. I really just let myself be wherever I needed to be creatively. And we have, I think the first shot was
Look at this, there it is. Oh my gosh, I love it.
The records.
That's like records.
Yeah, so we had, this is my first all-gender show. So showcasing all people, all genders, all sizes, really just wanted to steer into more diversity and double down on the DEI when everyone else is sort of like pulling back from that. And, you know, the runways were getting less inclusive and more beige, you know, literally and figuratively. So
you're hilarious, literally and figuratively.
Like, you know, I was really.
So you like colors, let's be clear.
I wanted to
meant.
do, you know, a really bold collection. You know, each collection kind of has a theme, and Out of Scale is just was when you're feeling kind of topsy-turvy in this world, which I think a lot of us do, but it's particularly people in bigger bodies, people of color. We didn't really have a lot of community, and I wanted to bring that community. So, you know, we are seen in the fashion industry still as a very niche market. However, 67% of people are plus size in the United States.
Nice.
So we're not a niche, but fashion industry treats us as such, and I hope to change that.
Well, you're doing a great job of it because I've watched you develop this,
Thank
right?
you.
So let's talk a little bit about your background and how this all came into development, because you did mention Slink magazine, and then the pandemic hit.
So it's really funny. The only silver lining out of the pandemic might have been that this company kind of ended up happening. I was the U.S. editor of Slink magazine, which is a print magazine internationally for plus sizes. and everything was on hold, of course, during quarantine. And I could not just sit back and do nothing. And I saw all my friends in the fashion industry. They needed to pay their rent, and all the hospitals needed hospital gowns and masks. So we actually started as a group called Si So Puede, S-E-W.
Yes, yes. CISO, as in S-E-W. Yeah, I love it, love it. I thought that was clever too.
And so we started as like this little Facebook group I pulled together, and I'm like, okay, I'm going to hire these people, and we're going to donate everything to the hospital systems. And then as the pandemic wore on, and we went from furloughed to fired, and there's no more Fashion Week, people came to me like, do you have any more work? And I'm like, actually, never had the guts at the time to go after some ideas that I've had on the shelf of, filling that hole in the market.
So before you keep going, because I want them to catch up and I want to make sure that they're clear. Yeah, because you speak really fast. And I'm like, hey, did you get that? Did you get that? Because what she did was she put fashion designers together with the hospitals, right? Or the first responders to create the mask or whatever first response. What the PPE.
Yeah. So, what happened was, when I saw that at that time, at the beginning of the pandemic, they were looking for anything, for PPE, I reached out and hired folks that knew how to sew and then bring it, and then brought it to the hospital. So that's how we started. And then out of that came a brand.
Right.
Not doing hospital gowns and masks, although I do have some ideas on.
No, but it's brilliant though. But it's brilliant though because you employ these individuals who sew for a living, right?
Yeah.
And then I said fashion designer, but I meant people who sew, right? Or was it both?
But we had everybody. We had folks who are small business owners with their own brands, individual sewers, just anyone that could help with the fight.
And then after that is when you decided, well, I put all these people together, why not start?
Yeah, and so we started working on prototypes all in quarantine, literally mailing things back and forth, even though we were in the same borough a lot of the time, because I was in a pretty strict quarantine, and as most of us were. So I'm just like ripping up my own clothes and sending it to a pattern maker. We're trying to create what is now my bestseller and my ready-to-wear brand public label. It's the Game Changer dress. I have a patent for a built-in bra dress that I'd thought about back in '09. But didn't have the time or the guts or the ability to spend to do the fit and the prototype.
Well, congratulations on
Thank
that.
you.
I mean, 2009, we're in 2026.
I know. Hey, I had an idea on a shelf for a long time, but things happen for a reason at the time that they happen. So I'm really loving that I'm able to be here as a designer during a time where we really need to amplify body positivity.
Yeah, and not only that, you're doing it purposefully. I think that's the beautiful thing.
I try to do everything with purpose.
That is so what's up. I mean, that's the way we all need to live.
I mean, one of the things that's at the core of my mission is saving the garment industry in New York City, really fostering the brick and mortar stores. So everything's actually sourced, designed, and made on 38th Street.
Wonderful. Yeah, so it's all consciously coordinated.
Yes.
Yeah, that's what I love about you. I'm so happy you were able to come and bring it
Thank
here
you.
to our viewers. Renee Cafaro, I'm sure we'll be seeing more of you. And we hope to have you back on again, probably for the next season, right? Because this is a fashion month season in February, right?
Yes, and then the other biggie is in September. I usually show in September, so I think I will be back again with another spring-summer collection, and I'm hoping to do a lot more in the future. So.
Well, we thank you for bringing it here to our viewers. Renee Cafaro, once again, if you're interested in everything that we just discussed, that is dedicated to plus-size community, you can go to her website at reneecafaroatelier.com. All right, stay tuned. There's more Open when we return.
19.7% of Bronxites currently experience food insecurity. Meanwhile, instead of these nice, colorful foods, this is the best food that they have access to. If this sounds like you, there are a bunch of resources to get healthy food for free or cheap. If you want to help, you might consider donating or volunteering in one of these places. Community fridges like this one are all over the city and allow New Yorkers to conveniently donate extra food to people who might need it. Go to this link and find your nearest one. Food banks and pop-up events like these provide millions of healthy meals to families in need. These organizations are distributing meals to Bronxites as we speak, and are always accepting donations and volunteers.
Hey everyone, and welcome back to Open. My next guest has been a performer since the age of 9 and represents a new generation of bilingual performers, bridging cultures across film, television, and music. With each new project, he continues to expand his range and visibility. His diverse list of credits range from FX's Aaron Hernandez, Marvel's Jessica Jones series, and Nickelodeon's Santiago of the Seas. However, it is his most recent role as Chris Rodriguez in Disney's Percy Jackson and the Olympians that has heads turning. Now, let's take a peek at Percy Jackson and the Olympians. That was a clip of Kevin Chacón as Chris Rodriguez in Percy Jackson and the Olympians, currently streaming on Disney+. And I know you see the big Kool-Aid smile because guess what? Guess who we have here in studio? That's right, the star on the rise, actor and musician himself, Kevin Chacón. Woo!
How are we doing? Thank you for having me.
Amazing. You look so different with long hair.
I know, right? Yeah, the buzz cut is gone. I don't know. I wanted to switch up.
Well, I get it. Because that's your character.
Right.
Not Kevin.
It's not Kevin.
Yeah.
It's not Kevin.
Oh my gosh, Kevin, how exciting was that? Riding horses?
Yeah, are you kidding me? It was an insane scene to film. Because I remember when I got to Canada, they were like, hey, do you want to see the set? We got to the set and there was nothing on set. I went back to set like 2 days later. The sand, the chariot, the statues, the stairs, the horses, everything was set, ready. They had me like practicing on how to rein the horses. It was insane. It was so much fun.
Oh my gosh. All right, so let's talk about this journey because it sounds so exciting. First of all, I really like this show, by the way.
Thank you.
Okay, I know it's not necessarily for my age range.
No, my dad just turned 60, but he watches the show and he giggles like a little kid. He has so much fun with it.
I love it.
That's when I was convinced. I was like, it's for all ages.
Yeah, it is for all ages, and I want to talk a little bit about it so that they understand, so that they also stream it themselves, right? And so for me, it's like a combination of like Harry Potter. Yeah. There's another one that I said earlier that now I'm forgetting. Because it's got magic, it's got the gods in it, right? So, right, because you're the son of Hermes.
Correct.
And Hermes is played by Lin-Manuel Miranda.
That's right, the Hispanic king himself. Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah.
All right. So anyway, I just wanted to set it up so that you can share your journey on getting to this set.
No, it was the most unexpected thing you can possibly imagine. I just graduated high school in 2024, and I was going to college. I was going to go to Pace University in Manhattan, and I was all set. I was all ready, and then my amazing manager Susan Riven, she sent me an audition, it was like around July, and I did it, and we had a few callbacks, and I knew I read it was like, oh, Percy Jackson, the Olympians. I know the books. I was read the books. I was like, they read me the books when I was in elementary school. So I was like, okay, so I'm familiar with the books. So
My daughter too. She's
Oh,
16. Yeah. Percy Jackson.
No, it's the biggest thing. It's the biggest thing. So I keep getting callbacks, and then it gets to the point where it's getting closer and closer to the deadline where my dad has to pay the first semester. Mi papá está harto. He's mad. He's about to call Disney and be like, hey, do you want him or not? Because I got to pay, and I'm not doing this, right? So we're getting to the deadline, and it's like 2 days before I have to pay the first semester. Susan calls me, and she's like, hey, look, you booked it, pack up your things because you're leaving to Canada. So then I told Papi, hey, you're not paying for college. Actually, Disney's paying for you. We're leaving to Canada. So we packed up our things and we left to Canada, and that's the rest is history.
All right, so how long were you in Canada?
From August to December, in and out.
Oh, wow, so half a year, actually.
Yeah, half a year in and out, filming season 2, which was the most amazing experience. Disney, besides their budget, it's so insane to see the set.
Like, you want to share?
In fact, I'm like, hey, come on. No, but it was Disney is such an amazing company to work with. They're so professional, so amazing. The hospitality is insane. So it's definitely my favorite project I've done so far. I can't even lie.
Yeah, because you've worked on other sets, and so you're part of season 2, and so again, this is one of your many projects. But I wanted to make sure that people understand that this is our local homegrown talent that is out there making waves and representing us in that bilingual community.
Amen.
Yeah. And that's also another, I guess, value that you applied to your music too, right?
Yeah, no, so I do music as well. I started getting into music about a couple years ago. I think I say about 3 years ago is when I started to take it serious. I never really wanted to be those cliche actors that dive into music. But then I started really getting into it, and that's when I said, wow, I think this might be another career I'd love to pursue. And also being bilingual. Both of my parents are Costa Rican. I'm Costa Rican myself, and it's such a beautiful thing that we have the ability to speak 2 languages. Traer ese sazón. Dejarle a la gente saber, yo, you know where we're from, you know what I mean? Especially being from the tri-state area, repping New York, repping Connecticut, repping Jersey, we're so powerful. We wear ourselves on our sleeve, you know what I'm saying? We're so confident. We show exactly who we are, and whoever doesn't like us, then you missed out.
Well, here's the thing. First of all, the big smile you saw on my face is you're like, you're being confident. You're like, yo soy de Costa Rica.
That's right. Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, that's right.
Yeah, that's right.
And guess what? Guess what? The rest of the world is gonna have to become bilingual by the Super Bowl.
That's right.
No, I'm just saying.
Bad Bunny, be ready.
Well,
and people are mad, pero que se queden enojados.
Pero it's like you said, as we are, right?
Yeah,
and so the rest of the world's going to catch up.
Yeah, that's right.
Guess what? It's here to stay. It's not going anywhere.
We're the new generation. We're coming in hot. We're showing what we got, the power we hold. Our voice is heard. We're powerful more than anybody thinks we are. And we just keep proving ourselves with every film, with every interview. You know what I'm saying? With every word, with every video we post to our Instagram, with whatever the case may be, we prove ourselves. And I think I'm so proud of us.
Well, we're proud of you because you're the next generation. Even though I live in denial, but I understand you're also working on another show. Wait, I saw it here somewhere. That's up and coming.
Dark Matter.
Dark Matters. That's right. On Apple. That's on Apple, right?
Apple TV. Yes. That's coming out this year. So I'm very, very excited for that.
Tú estás muy busy already.
Gracias a Dios. God is everything. God has built my career, guided my path, and I'm so blessed, and I'm endlessly blessed for the opportunities I've had. I also did Brownsville Bred. Shout out to Elaine Del Valle.
Yay!
Hopefully.
That's right. You were the son, right?
Yes, I was Benjamin, the King Benjamin Medina. No, Brownsville Bred, Chicago Med, FBI. So many things that, so many names I have under my belt that I'm so grateful to have. But it's been an incredible journey ever since I was 9. It's insane to think about. I just turned 19, December 19th. It was my golden birthday.
Happy belated birthday,
Thank you so
Sag.
much. Thank you.
I'm a
thank
fellow
you,
Sag
thank you.
too.
Oh, really? What
Of
day?
course. Come on.
Come on.
Look it.
Is that why we connect so
look
well?
what we got going on
This isn't
here.
rehearsed, you guys.
Okay,
This is
no.
natural beauty.
Because no entendemos. That's how it
beauty.
is.
Yeah,
no, but happy belated
thank you
birthday
so much.
and congratulations, 10 years in the
thank
making.
you. Yeah, it was insane to think about. I turned 19. I was like, wow, I started with Susan when I was 9, so it's been 10 years now.
Wow, that's beautiful. It's beautiful that there's been time invested and now you're reaping the dividends.
Hey, that's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Well, you know, I mean, it's beautiful to be in the business, but it's also nice to generate revenue in the process, right?
It's amazing. Oh, are you kidding me? Of course, of course. No, I was telling that to my sister the other day. I was like, the fact that I get to call this a job is one of the most blessed things ever. You know, there's a lot of people who go to their job and they don't like it and they hate it, trying to make a living, and hustling every day. And that I take my cap off for that. You know what I mean? You know, but it's insane that I get to have fun and I get to live my best life on set, and I get to go, and it's a hard job. Being an actor is a very, very hard thing, even though some people may think otherwise.
Right.
But,
no, I mean,
you know?
yeah, we can talk about it because the truth of the matter is that you're working with your emotions.
Yeah, I think
you're studying behavior.
Yeah, I remember it was a while back ago. I remember a kid said to me, he was like, "Oh my God, like your job is so easy. You just go and you just say lines." I'm like, "Whoa, step back, Papa, because." Let me just say
Let me educate you a little bit.
Papito, let me school you a little bit. No, it's so much more than just saying lines. People don't understand that you're not yourself. You know what I mean? When you see me and Percy Jackson, you're not seeing Kevin, you're seeing Chris Rodriguez. You know what I mean? When you see Brownsville Bread, you're not seeing Kevin, you're seeing Benjamin Medina. You know, it's such a crazy thing when you have to step out of your shoes, get into somebody else's shoes, and cancel out your emotions and get into their emotions. Do research on who they are. And if it's not a real story, then you have to make up a story for who they are. You know what I mean? Besides the character description just tells you some of their traits. No, you have to make a story. Where did he grow up? What did he do? Where was he based? What was his friend group growing up? You know what I mean? And besides that, it's also, it's a lot about the emotion, a lot about the memorization.
That
you
too.
have to memorize a whole bunch of lines and make it seem
skill.
natural.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Oh my gosh.
It's a very hard thing.
I got to tell you, okay, everybody, we just got acting coaching 101 with Kevin Chacón.
Hello. Sit down.
No, thank you for breaking it down. And
Yeah.
also, you know, that also, once again, we give kudos to Susan, right? Because
of course.
this is all of the skill set
I'm so blessed for my whole team. My whole team, from going from my immediate family to my second family, my management, my agents, assistants, everybody makes, you know, what my team makes me and who I am, you know, so I'm super blessed.
Yeah,
for sure.
it is all about collaboration. That's
right.
life in general, really.
Yeah.
And so, really, it's beautiful when you can acknowledge that.
Oh, of
and
course,
so,
you have
what's
to.
next for you?
What's next? Hopefully more music. That's really my 2026 New Year's resolution, is locking in a lot with new music and a lot of that. And just keep auditioning, keep hustling for what I want and what I love. And yeah, you'll be seeing a lot more of me soon, so stay tuned.
Oh, I'm sure we will. I see it already, and I'm so excited that we were able to bring you on at the top of the new year.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me.
Congratulations on Percy Jackson and also Dark Matters. And I just want our viewers to know that we're going to actually be closing out playing his tune, even though he's not going to be performing yet here in our Open Artist Spotlight. We're going to be closing out with his tune, so yeah, you'll get a little taste of his music that he's going to be working on in the new year, right?
That's right.
All right.
That's right.
All right, Kevin, thank you for
so
bringing
much,
it here,
Thank
everyone.
you for
Kevin
having me.
Chacón! Woo! Yes! Oh, gosh. And once again, you can catch Kevin Chacón on Percy Jackson on the Disney Channel Plus. And for more information on Kevin Chacón, you can follow him on Facebook and Instagram at the official Kevin Chacón. All right, stay tuned. There's more Open when we return.
What's up, creative family? Discover your voice with BronxNet Community Media Classes. Are you ready to bring your ideas to life? At BronxNet, we offer television production classes for community members ages 18 and over, empowering you to share your vision with the world. Get certified in field production, in-studio production, and our new exciting addition, podcast production. Once certified, you can create your own show to air on one of our 6 TV channels. It all starts with our free Unleash Your Ideas Masterclass, designed to help you plan your show idea and set you up for success on your production journey. This class is offered at the beginning of each month for your convenience. Our dedicated BronxNet team is here to support, encourage, and uplift you every step of the way. Join us and become a part of the creative force that engages and inspires the Bronx community and beyond. Sign up today and start your media journey with BronxNet. Visit bronxnet.org/education to learn more and register. Let's create something amazing together.
We're gonna start the show right now. This is my favorite part. Ready in 5, 4, 3, 2. Hey, this is Angel, and I am one of the instructors for the in-studio production. Here at BronxNet, we offer classes that can help you elevate, expand, and start your television career. All you have to do is sign up at bronxnet.org/education. For the past 7 years, I have been in various productions, spanning from talk shows, independent films, news reports, art displays, teachings, musical performances, and many more. Ain't that right, Angel? Yeah, you're absolutely right, Angel. There are a lot of creative individuals that we're just waiting to sign up for the class. And if I may, can I also express thank you, Angel. That's all the time we have left. Visit bronxnet.org/education and become a producer by taking the course. The class I offer is also in English, en español y también bilingüe. Nos vemos en la próxima clase.
Hey everyone, and welcome back to Open. Today's Open Artist Spotlight shines on a Bronx-raised bilingual poet whose poetry is described as existential observations rooted in the womb of her ancestors. Her poetry and music has been featured at the NYC Poetry Festival, Wave Hill, and BX Writers Writer of the Week. Everyone, please welcome poet, curator, and yogi, Natalia González. Hello and welcome.
Hi, Rena. Thank you for having me.
Oh, well, thank you for being here. You know, we could open up with just sharing with our viewers how you were my yoga instructor, right?
Yes.
Remember that time we used to do
It was so lovely.
Yoga in Central Park?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what happened with me.
No, you know, everyone has their outlets, and I know you love swimming.
I do.
But
yeah. Thank you for at least forgiving me for not pursuing the yoga direction. But anyway, I just wanted to bring that up because I'm really excited to have you here as a guest and also to present you and introduce you to our viewers. So congratulations on everything. And let's just share with everyone a little bit behind Gallery 71 and your dad, and then we can lead into the poetry because I think it's important that they know that we have a Latino-owned gallery on 71st Street and Lexington Avenue.
We do. Yeah, so basically, I come from a family of dreamers and doers. And so between my uncle, who was deeply inspiring, him, Ibrahim
González.
And
the great Ibrahim, who we're going to send light to because, yeah.
Yeah, he's probably one of the most interesting, special beings anyone had the fortune of knowing. And he was really a mentor of my father in photography and his love for art, traveling the city, doing all kinds of things. And my father decided through a framing job that grew into an art director job that grew into him working very closely with the gallery owners, that unfortunately during the AIDS epidemic they passed, that he would continue their legacy. And so he opened his own gallery, Gallery 71, and that's now 31 years ago. And just thinking about it, it kind of brings me so much joy. Usually people know their parents like, ese papi, como que, you know,
Right.
but I have the honor and fortune of knowing him as a business owner, as an entrepreneur, as an artist, and also like a supporter of artists, which is probably my favorite thing about working there.
You know, and I love that you're working with him, that, you know, it's going to get passed on and that your family business interests you.
Yeah, for sure. And I think it's kind of cool because I've gotten to work with him on multiple levels in multiple facets. And so, yeah, hopefully I'll have the honor of directing the gallery.
Yeah, well, we're putting that out into the universe, okay? She's in development to direct the actual gallery. But just tell me a little bit, right? I don't want to spend too much time on the gallery, but I want our viewers to understand what it takes to run a gallery on 71st and Lexington as a person of color, as a Puerto Rican, as, you know, of the Latinx culture.
Yeah, I think it's important to, in all venues of my life, it's important to be yourself. You show up as you. I think, fortunately, kindness is a characteristic that both my father and I have, which definitely helps the business. And I think letting the art speak for itself, speaking up for the artists behind the work. A lot of people love art. They don't necessarily love artists, right? We need more support of them. And so being able to create artist talks, creating venue where people can speak directly with them. I mean, it's all of that, which can be like the sort of the fun, the glitz, but it's also, you know, paying taxes and making
and let's
sure.
not talk about the rent, because once again, 71st and Lexington is no joke.
Making sure you're locked in with your landlord.
Right.
And not only that, thankfully, again, since it's honestly sort of its own landmark within the community at this point, because we've framed people's baby pictures to their wedding photos, to their kids' baby pictures, and so also being there for so long, it really thankfully has created sort of a realm of trust with our collectors and clients.
Right, and so you operate as a community and you also operate collaboratively, right? And that which leads us into this new collaboration that you have going on with your dad.
Yeah, so my father and I, he started a project specifically during COVID where he was just biking through the city and asking people if they were okay with him taking their photo, which often led to like 30 to an hour-long conversations of him just sort of delving in because he is chatty, social butterfly, love you, Dad. And so what ended up happening was, as I started my poetry venture, or taking it more seriously, I'll say, my dad goes, "You want to write for these photos?" Just out of the blue one day, and I was like, yes, okay. And what started out as just like 12 poems has now turned into roughly 50, with 50 of his photographs that will be coming out in a book in June, which we're super, super fortunate and excited about.
That's exciting.
Yeah.
That's very nice. I know we showed one of the images of one of the pieces that you're going to be presenting today, right?
Yes. Yeah. So one of the photos is of Gregory, a wonderful man my father met at Simpson Ave. And then what happened is that getting to know Gregory, he literally expressed to my father after a long dialogue how excited he was as his own venture as becoming a photographer. And when my father spoke with him, he said, yeah, but photographers have to carry the camera all the time. And he shared that he didn't have one. So that being said, you kind of talk to New Yorkers, you meet all people with all kinds of dreams, with aspirations, kind of like some of the other artists up here were speaking about. And it's just honestly a blessing to meet these people, and definitely for my father, but for me as well, being able to use those photos, the energy that presents itself in those photographs to fuel my writing. It's been a really cool, amazing, ekphrastic project.
It sounds it. I mean, just the way you're describing it, it's because you're really writing from what you're capturing from the experience of what your dad captured.
Yes.
What you're absorbing, I should say, from what your dad captured.
Yeah, I was pretty explicit that I didn't want him to tell me, because he, again, is having these long conversations with people, and I was pretty explicit that I didn't want to know what they spoke about, what the conversations were. I just kind of wanted to feel what that moment must have been like. And it's kind of really cool to see the energy align. I think, you know, art begets art. And so that's what this project's been like.
Beautiful. And so before we go into the performance aspect of it, I know you're editing the BX Writers of the Week.
Yes.
So now you're editing too, también.
Yeah, can't stop, won't stop.
That's great. I think it's great. I mean, you know, you're aligned with everything that interests you.
Yeah, I think something that's pretty amazing is that there's an amazing renaissance happening here in the Bronx. There's tremendous performers, poets, writers, and through this project endeavor that Jose Cáceres, the founder of BX Writers, offered me was to edit the anthology of some of these writers. And what's great is a lot of these performance-driven writers are expressive, so making sure that they're showing up on the page the way they show up in person was really my guiding light, right? You're not correcting them, you're not changing them, you want to amplify them. And so it was, I mean, now I'm addicted. I'm gonna start editing other books to come. But this project particularly was really awesome, and it's coming out at the end of winter, so stay tuned.
Awesome, awesome. Well, thank you for bringing it here. We love the cover too, by the way. It's pretty dope. The design event.
Shout out to Amari Escudillon of Bronx Native. He designed the cover.
He did a great job. Shout out to Amaris. All right, and then you're gonna be performing for us.
Yes, yeah.
What's the piece? Well, you're gonna perform after we come back from the break.
Okay.
Well, what are you going to be performing for us?
I'm going to be performing A Penny for Your Thoughts, which is the piece that was inspired by Gregory.
Wonderful. All right, you guys hang on and don't go anywhere, because when we return, Natalia is going to perform for us after the break. Hey everyone, welcome back to Open. Let's give a big round of applause for Natalia González as she performs A Penny for Your Thoughts.
A penny for your thoughts? If you're out of change, I'll lend you one, I have plenty. In a world rampant with remorse, I keep a handful for safekeeping, in hopes the many who find themselves momentarily defeated will still make wishes beyond their broken dreams. I have a mason jar filled to the brim for those whose rose-colored glasses have washed gray through years of watching their joys spark fade. A dresser drawer I've given up on trying to close, set aside for those wishes that are patiently brewing potential over time. And for you, a penny with a string attached, so it can't be one you lose, the only condition being that it be used. Thank you.
And that was A Penny for Our Thoughts. Yes, Natalia González, everyone. Once again, you can follow her at the Happy New Year Weekend on IG. That is our show today, mi gente. Thanks for our guests for coming through, and to you, our viewers, for tuning in. If you missed any part of the show, you can check out this episode throughout the weekend and 24 hours a day at BronxNet.tv. I'm Rena Valentin, and from all of us here at Open, may the universe provide paz, prosperity, y amor. Happy New Year, everyone!
Mira suave, baby, alcánzame la mano. Dejemos este party, tú y yo nos vamos. Jale para la casa y no vamos para el cuarto. Ni siquiera ahí nos vamos acercando. Es que sé que tú eres pa' mí, pensando en ti no dormí. Yo no quiero estar free si te tengo a ti. Yo no quiero estar peleando, yo a ti te doy el shin. Solo quiero amarte bien, ¿qué más quieres de mí? I just wanna hold you tight, love you every single night. Don't sleep until we see the light, como le parece a ti. Would you let me hold you tight?